Well, Dr. Lee, thank you so much for being with us
You're
today
welcome.
and taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to just start and have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from and why you do what you do.
My name's Kelvin Lee. I am the Jacobs Family Chair of Immunology here at Roswell Park. I'm also a professor in the Department of Medicine, and I see primarily myeloma patients, and I'm also the Senior Vice President for Basic Sciences. My journey here has been a long one, and I actually started at the University of Michigan, where I went to medical school, University of Colorado, where I did my internship and residency in internal medicine, back to Michigan to do my fellowship in hematology and oncology, and then the University of Miami, the Bethesda Naval Medical Research Center, and finally Roswell Park.
Wow. Well,
I've been a traveling man, so.
Well, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you explain in layman's term, or as easy as possible, what is myeloma?
So multiple myeloma is a blood cancer. So it is a cancer that is primarily found in patients' bone marrow, and it's all throughout the bone marrow. And multiple myeloma is actually the normal cell, the normal non-cancerous version of multiple myeloma are called plasma cells. And these are the cells that, in fact, make the antibodies that protect you against influenza, polio, smallpox, and COVID-19. So the normal cell plays a very important role in your immune system in protecting you against a bunch of infections. But for some reason, and it's not clear what exactly happens, that one of these cells develops a genetic mutation in it which causes it to become cancerous. It still goes to the bone marrow where normal plasma cells live, but it begins to grow uncontrollably. It grows pretty slowly, though, so patients can have a pre-malignant syndrome called monoclonal gammopathy of unknown significance, which is a long name, so we just call it MGUS. People can have MGUS. It's about 1% to 2% of the entire population. They can have it for decades. And only a small percentage of these MGUS patients actually turn into myeloma, where their MGUS cells begin to grow in an uncontrolled fashion. So that's what multiple myeloma is. It is, in fact, people call it a rare cancer, but it's the second most common blood cancer behind non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that afflicts patients worldwide.
Are there common symptoms? Somebody that has myeloma, multiple myeloma, will they feel a certain way? What are some signs of it?
So myeloma, in fact, is classically described as having effects that are encapsulated in the acronym CRAB, C-R-A-B. So these are the things that myeloma causes problems with. So because myeloma grows in the bone marrow and erodes the bone, it causes a release of calcium. So extra calcium in your blood is the C in CRAB, and extra calcium in your blood can cause problems like fatigue, drop in levels of alertness, can cause kidney problems. The R in CRAB stands for renal. Renal is Latin for the kidney. And the myeloma cells, they still make that antibody that they were originally designed to make, but they make much too much of it. And that in our staging of the disease or assessment of the disease is called the M protein. M actually stands for monoclonal or myeloma. And these antibodies actually gather to too high of a level in your blood. They make your blood too thick, and that clogs up your kidneys, and your kidneys stop working. So people can run into kidney failure, which is, again, caused by fluid overload, fatigue, difficulty breathing, things like that. The A in CRAB stands for anemia because the myeloma cells crowd out the regular bone marrow. You can't make a normal amount of red blood cells, so you become anemic, and that can be manifested by shortness of breath. People that could normally have gone up a flight of stairs without a problem now begin to notice they get really short-winded when they try to go do their sort of normal exercise. And then the B in CRAB stands for bones, because myeloma erodes the bones. People can fracture bones completely doing normal activity. I had one patient who fractured her arm when she was picking up her grandkid. So those are the major clinical symptoms that patients will notice when their myeloma begins to get to the point where it's beginning to impact them in a bad way.
So there's incredible research that's going on here at Roswell Park. How important are the funds that are generated from the community to support you and your research? How important is that for you?
So it's incredibly important for two reasons. One is that I think that all of us in the myeloma field, so right now myeloma is considered incurable, that patients actually do live a fair amount of time. It's currently the median time from the diagnosis to when patients actually succumb to the disease is about 8 years. So it's not a rapidly, a growing disease that takes a person's life. And progress really over the last, I would say, 10 years has expanded that time from when I first started in the field, it really was about 2 years. And every year it's gone longer. Every year the advances in research have really pushed the frontier forward to the point now where I think a lot of the folks that are doing myeloma research are thinking, gosh, we are close to a cure with novel immunotherapies, novel drugs. And so we're very excited. And the money raised by the 11-day power play goes to fund research to actually try to understand what are the weak points in myeloma? What are the novel therapeutics? How can we harness the immune system to attack myeloma? And that really has become an extraordinarily exciting area. And we think that it is only a matter of time, and only a short matter of time before we actually can say that we can cure this cancer. So we're very excited about that. The other thing that the funds from the 11-day power play really are extraordinarily important for the research community is the basic sense that as a researcher you are supported by the community. You are supported by people that really don't know you from Adam. As I've said many times, they don't know you from Adam, but they believe in what you do. So they go out there and they'll play a bazillion hours of hockey through all kinds of conditions to raise that money because they believe in you. And I always tell our researchers that that's almost more important than the money itself, to have the belief of a community, because research is hard. We fail all the time. I would say that 80% of what we do, we fail at. Our patients pass away after very courageous struggles. So the support and the encouragement by everybody that's involved in the 11-day power play is of enormous emotional and psychological a source of strength for the researchers here.
That's wonderful. I know they'll be happy to hear that. They do really put a lot of effort in the fundraising, but also phically training.
Exactly. It's not an easy thing. Now, they don't have to do all 11 days anymore, right? They're doing it in shifts. I gotta take my hats off to the guys that did it, or the guys and the women that did it for all 11 days. That was pretty darn amazing in your first year. So.
Well, I know they loved meeting you back in January prior to the year starting and learning all about, the research going on here. What is it like being ranked 14th in the country out of all of the cancer care in the United States? How does that feel for you and your colleagues?
So it is both great and it really is a testament to the wonderful team that's here. I mean, the people that are here are some of the most dedicated people on the planet. And you see that in the rankings. You also see that during the COVID-19 pandemic back, January, February, March, April, we shut down and then we restarted and it went incredibly smoothly. And that really was a testament to all the people that are here, all their dedication to the mission and the dedication to the patients and the research. On the other hand, we're all sitting there going, we should have been ranked higher than 14, So we have something to shoot for going forward. So, and that's good. That means that there's a hunger to be even better than we are now. So.
You know, it's incredible that, you know, you are ranked number 14th. We have Roswell Park in our backyard, and people that live in our community don't have to travel so far to get to an incredible hospital. You're right here. Any last words for the hockey players and the volunteers and everyone that supports the 11-day power play?
I just want to thank you guys for all that you do, all the dedication. I actually think that what you guys are doing is harder than the research that we do, because the research we do, we understand, and we've been doing it for a long time. But to take time off to dedicate yourself to such a worthy cause, the training, the ice time, the uncertainty this year of how things will get done and where things will get done, I think that's even harder than coming to work every day and doing lab work and doing research. So again, hats off to all you guys, or helmets off to all you guys for the tremendous work that you do.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lee, for being here today and for talking to us. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome. It's great being part of it. One of these days I'll learn to skate. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, and I've tried several times, and it has been a general disaster. But, one of these days.
We will save you a spot on the bench.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lee.
You're welcome.